Hello and welcome back. I know it has been a while again since the last thing, but I've been in my last exams and I've been sick. Um, so I just wanted to put that here in case there was some sort of confusion or people were wondering where the videos were. I didn't stop doing these. I just required a break. Anyways, this Devblog, the first one I wanted to catch up with is the A10A Thunderbolt 2, the Warthog arrives in War Thunder. This is probably the most hyped vehicle coming for this update. Also, there's also a teaser on this, which I'm not sure why I haven't used it here. Or those clips from it, not sure. But I'm gonna link the teaser in the description as well. I would actually advise watching it because it's actually really well made. I like it a lot. But anyways, let's get into the Devblog itself. The A-10 Thunderbolt II is an American ground attack aircraft developed in the early 1970s by Fairchild Republic. It is one of the most recognizable aircraft still in service with the United States Air Force today. Two versions of the iconic Warthog will also soon make an appearance in War Thunder, arriving at the top rank of American aviation tree as part of the next major update Wind of Change. If I'm not mistaken, it will be at 9.7. At least I remember seeing it there. Rank 7. Here's features. It lists the deadly Gao, not sure how you actually pronounce that, 8 Avenger Cannon, a high number of variety and suspended weapons, which is true, it carries a lot. Good vitality, not sure what that's even supposed to mean, and it's subsonic. And here we have the history. After World War II, American aircraft designers shifted focus towards developing tactical aircraft capable of delivering nuclear weapons while conventional strike aircraft fell out of favor with the new American military doctrine. By the start of the Vietnam War, however, the A-1 Skyrider, being the most widely used strike aircraft in the US service at the time, was considered vastly outdated. Furthermore, new aircraft such as the very successful F-4 Phantom II proved to be too expensive for strike mission operations. As a result, in September 1966, the United States Air Force ordered the development and procurement of a dedicated new close air support aircraft, resulting in an AX program being launched. Shortly afterwards, in May 1970, the first requirements were issued, including the need to design the aircraft around a new 30mm rotary cannon. Of 6 aircraft manufacturers who submitted design proposals, the two from Northrop and Fairchild Republic were chosen for further development, resulting in two prototypes, the YA-9A and the YA-10A, respectively. After intense testing of both prototypes, the YA-10A was declared the winning design and was ordered into production in January 1973. After the United States Air Force received its first production version of the A-10 in November 1975, the aircraft received its official nickname Thunderbolt II. In April 1978, in honor of the World War II-era P-47 fighter bomber also built by the Republic. Although the A-10 was first assigned to a military unit in March 1976, its first combat use would be in 1991 as part of the Gulf War. During this conflict, the A-10 underwent its baptism by fire and successfully proved its design, racking up an impressive number of enemy targets destroyed. A-10s were also employed during the Balkan conflicts of mid and late 1990s, as well as during the invasion of Afghanistan and Iraq in the early 2000s. The A-10 Thunderbolt II, despite its age, still forms the backbone of the United States Air Force Close Air Support Force to this date, with over 700 units of the A-10 being produced in total. Here we have some pictures. Of course, the model is pretty nifty as usual. In War Thunder, the legendary A-10A Thunderbolt II will be a highly anticipated new strike aircraft, arriving at the top rank of American aviation tree as part of the next major update, Wind of Change, armed to the teeth with a combination of high-caliber, high-rate-of-fire 50mm cannon, as well as a plethora of advanced and conventional suspended weapons. The A-10A Thunderbolt II guarantees one thing: top-rank battles are about to get a lot more explosive in the upcoming update. Yes, mostly by the aircraft that will combust in the air. Before we get into details about the brrrrrrrrts and bangs carried by the A-10A, it's worth taking a closer look at equally impressive aircraft itself. The Thunderbolt II is fitted with a pair of TF-34 GE-100A turbofan jet engines, producing 8,900 pounds, I think, pounds force, something like that, of thrust each, thus allowing the aircraft to reach a top speed of around 457 miles per hour or 36 kilometers per hour. While seemingly rather lackluster in comparison to most other aircraft found at its rank, some of which even fly above Mach 2, it's worth pointing out that the A10A doesn't have the need to be fast. Being conceived as a dedicated close air support aircraft, the A10A's low top speed gives pilots more time to focus on a given target and execute a precision strike. At the same time, thanks to its lower speed and general design, the Thunderbolt 2 boasts extremely good maneuverability even when outfitted with large payloads. Okay, that is bullshit. I'm not sure what they're trying to compare here to when speaking of good maneuverability, but I've been flying that thing myself on the dev server just to try it out once. It's not maneuverable. It's just slow and turns like a B-29. That is also why I said that they will combust in the air, because I just don't see them do anything of note. They're far too slow. They're very easy to shoot down and everything. Because of their low speed, you don't actually need to use the radar to shoot them down. It's essentially like shooting down prop planes, because this thing isn't actually faster than those. You would only need a radar against aircraft that fly at over 1,000 kilometers per hour on average in the battles, and this thing literally can't do that. I've actually tested it. If you go around turning, etc., your average speed will be somewhere around 500, right? Assuming you haven't dropped all of your armament already. And that is very easy to shoot down without radar and everything, so even its flares will not help it. But let's continue. Coming back to the subject of A10A's weapons, upon obtaining the aircraft, pilots will instantly gain access to the single weapon system that makes the Thunderbolt 2 the iconic aircraft that it is. We are of course talking about the 30mm Avenger cannon, notorious for its extremely high rate of fire, going up to staggering 4,200 rounds per minute. The A10A is capable of virtually shredding enemy targets into bits. Just try that out. This doesn't just apply to lightly more targets, however, but also for more heavily armored MBTs, thanks to the A10's very potent AP rounds. That being said, if the destruction inflicted by an A10 A10 strafing round doesn't send the enemy rushing for cover, the terrifying sound that follows shortly after most certainly will. And it does actually sound very good. Fun fact. Heavily armored bottom part of the A10's cockpit cell is often referred to as the bathtub due to its design. Okay, I don't actually know that. Anyways, going on. However, a rapid-firing, high-caliber gun is by far not the only weapon the A10 can be on its enemies. Flak pilots can equip their Thunderbolt 2 with a range of ordnance options, ranging from powerful guided ammunition such as the A-10A Sidewinder, AGM-65 Maverick missiles, as well as 2000 LIPS GBU-8 guided bombs to more conventional 500 and 2000 pounds unguided bombs, 20mm gun pods, and Hydra 70 rockets. As a result, A10A pilots will always have the choice between engaging targets directly with the powerful Avenger cannon, delivering precision strikes with advanced weapons, or striking lightly protected targets with conventional weapons. Here again we have some more pictures. Still a good looking model. However, since the A10A can't rely on its speed to quickly enter and exit a combat zone, thus avoid enemy fire or detection altogether, it has to fall back on other means. Fortunately, the A10A has several defensive features and countermeasures in place that protect itself from hostile fire. These come most notably in the shape of both flares and chaff, as well as a radar warning receiver, just turn your radar off and shoot it down, notifying the pilot of potential SBA threat in the combat zone. Apart from these systems, the A10A's cockpit is also protected by heavy titanium armor, plating and bulletproof glass, thus further improving the attack's resistance to ground fire, even from larger calibers. Therefore, pilots stand a good chance of avoiding enemy fire in the first place. But even if some rounds inevitably find their mark, the aircraft's good protection and rigid design will ensure it takes a lot more than a few hits to bring it down. I'm not so confident about that. The light production version of the A10A Thunderbolt 2 will be part of the US strike aircraft. Blah, okay, that's uninteresting. Yeah, they're also saying that they're adding a premium variant. Oh, there's nothing interesting. So yeah, here you can buy the premium thing, and you get a Untitled called Brrrrrrrrrt, which is kind of cool to be honest. But keep in mind this aircraft will be garbage, and it will mostly be a collector's item. In air matches, this thing generally will not be able to do anything, and this has a weaker armament than the Tech Tree version. And even the Tech Tree version won't be good. So unless you're a collector, this is entirely pointless to get. However, if you have a talisman on any sort of AA in the 9.7 area that isn't American, it's probably a good time after the update comes to play those because, well, you could alternatively also take your late war BF 109K or something and go and shoot these things down because you can actually catch them. So it's a cool aircraft in general, but it doesn't really have much of a place in the game. This really was mostly added because it has such a huge fan base, which I can understand. That's a cool aircraft, especially the noise it makes. A very iconic machine, but it doesn't go beyond that. It's entirely useless in the game. Because it will be ranked at 9.7, right? And your top speed is somewhere around 700 kilometers or 500 something miles, I think, if I remember correctly. Not even 500 miles, 450. Or 460 if you want to run correctly. So unless you're a collector, I repeat, I heavily disadvise from buying this. If you're a collector or just in general have the money left over for some reason, then I guess go and buy this. I can get why you would want it, but don't expect this to be useful. This is very important to keep in mind if you actually decide to buy the premium variant, because it's a very iconic aircraft. Like you see here, destroying tank columns, etc., which it is very well known for. You will not be able to pull that off in most matches. If that happens, then that is because the enemy team needs to manually breathe through the mouth because they'd otherwise suffocate. Otherwise, you're not going to do anything with this. It's going to be extremely situational if you actually manage to achieve something, and we don't even have to talk about air battles. I could maybe see it do something in simulator matches, but nothing beyond that. But that's also all I have to say. It's a very cool aircraft, kinda neat it's coming, but it's going to be useless. To summarize what I've said. Of course, share your thoughts like always in the comments, and otherwise, goodbye and until the next video.